Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Loud Rooster podcast.
Episode 5.
Episode 5. This is a big deal. 5 episodes in.
How many movies had 5? Like, movie series had 5. What movies can you think of? Because
there's not very many good
Star Wars we talked about previously.
There's not very many good ones. Well, I guess if you think about movies that actually make it to 5 sequels, there's a small
Rocky.
number. I mean, Rocky was okay.
You got the Harry Potters.
Harry Potters were great. Lord of the Rings were great. Star Wars was great.
Yeah.
Rambo. It kind of went downhill after Rambo 1.
Is there 5 Rambos?
I think.
Wow.
I know there's 4.
That's crazy.
I think the last one is just called Rambo, or
Land Before Time has like 30 of them.
Yeah.
It's like the now that's what you call music, but for cartoons.
Right. Dude, just like the Lion King has.
Oh God. When they start doing like 2.5, 3.5,
right.
Stop it.
The difference in the quality of the animation on some of those movies like that, like, it's so obvious that they called in the B team to do the sequels to those. The animation and even the storyline, the singing, the songs, all that stuff, none of it comes close to what it was like in the first movie.
But here's the thing, Rob. Episode 5 of the Loud Rooster podcast, same production quality.
Absolutely.
Same fantastic voice characters. And I would even say it's probably better than the first one or the second one.
That's probably true.
Yeah, but we're not the Terminator over here.
But when you say the same production quality, that's not saying a whole lot. That's not saying a lot.
Have faith. So let's talk about this. Last week we recorded not too long ago, but we've done some things since then. So, Rob, tell me what's good with you, and if you've had any hiccups.
I need to. I let myself go whenever a holiday comes around. I kind of let myself go a little bit with the eating. So, and it's not. I'm not, depressed about it or anything. I'm not beating myself up. Yeah. It's just I realize, that I'm not going to lose any weight if I'm, and it's not that I'm eating horrible. I'm doing things like eating a bun on my hamburger instead of not having a bun on my hamburger.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? So
you've gone to bunless now?
Yeah, I've been bunless. I mean, I've lived my entire
you're a strong
life.
Dude.
I've lived my entire life bunless, if you ask my wife. My hamstrings are so tight. My hamstrings are so tight, dude. It's embarrassing. But I swear to you, that's why I don't have a butt. It's because my hamstrings are so tight. It pulls my butt cheeks up underneath my body like a turtle shell.
I need to tell my wife that same thing because she says I look like a frog standing up.
That visual is something else, dude.
Yeah.
Because I bet she said that to you when you were naked.
Well, I don't remember. It's PTSD now from that type of stuff.
Yeah, I honestly think that the reason I don't have a butt is because I've got really tight hamstrings, caused me to have butt tuck disease.
Butt tuck disease.
Disease.
But when it comes to food,
yeah,
you're sans bun.
Yeah,
you just have a hamburger with just the patty.
Yeah, and the thing is, I'm a sandwich guy and I love bread, but the carbs just cause me to feel bloated, dude. They cause me to feel bloated, and
So I'm interested because I'm also a sandwich guy. I enjoy a good hamburger, and I could probably do a hamburger without a bun. I just never have tried. But my question is like condiments and toppings. Like, how do you tackle that on a hamburger?
well, first thing you have to do is get comfortable with the idea of eating a hamburger with a fork,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Which, part of it is just there's this the familiarity of the actual physical action of picking up a hamburger and putting it in your mouth, right? That whole sandwich, the meat delivery system, we talked about that.
Correct.
So that's part of it. So you got to get used to that. But as far as, I might put I might put a little bit of ketchup and mustard on there. If I want some pickles, I might, put lettuce. Some lettuce is really good. I'll wrap my burger in that, and that gives me that sensation of eating a sandwich.
Yeah, the lettuce bun. Okay.
Yeah, and you can, man, I think any burger joint nowadays will give you your burger wrapped in lettuce instead of bread. I know Five Guys will, and I'm pretty sure Burger King will.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't had Burger King in a long time, but
I'll have to look into that because there's so many spent calories on, and when you think about a hamburger, and you're right, it's the meat delivery system, I think, that and the convenience is what gets you.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, I'm not here for the bun.
right.
I'm not here for the bun.
Right. I know there's some bun guys. There's people out there that they're, that's the big thing. And my wife makes some great bread, man. We had some barbecue a while back, and we didn't have any hamburger buns, and neither one of us felt like going to the store. So my wife just made some buns from scratch. It was the best bread I've ever had, dude.
How's that? Man, we don't feel like going to the store. Just make some bread.
Just bake some bread. Dude, my wife is amazing in the kitchen, especially when it comes to baking anything. Bread, any kind of desserts. But, I mean, she loves doing everything from scratch. That's awesome.
So tell me how your 4th of July went. Like, what all did you do? You talked about you typically slip a little bit on the holidays, but
yeah,
what's the good in that?
Well, you get to eat some food. Like, so pulled out the grill. I have a Weber. I don't have a Rectech.
Ooh, got to get you one. Use code HABA for 5%
off. I was aware of that. But yeah, I pulled out the Weber, throw some charcoal in there, and I have this thing called a smoker tube. It's a stainless steel tube with holes drilled through it that you can fill with wood chips or wood pellets. And you light it on fire, let it burn for a little bit, blow it out, and it just creates hickory smoke. So I put that in the grill with the charcoal, and I grilled some chicken using some Tony, what's that Cajun seasoning? Tony
Dasheries?
Yeah, whatever that is.
Yeah.
So we had some of that on there, and some adobo and paprika. It's good stuff. And then some hot dogs and hamburgers.
The typicals, yeah.
Yeah. So I had that. So like last night I had a chicken breast and a hamburger. And I think I had a hot dog too, because my kids are so picky, it's ridiculous. But my kids, my daughter hates eating meat. I mean, she's 10 years old, and she's like, I don't understand why you would kill an innocent animal. And I'm like, hey,
man,
it tastes
good. That's impressive that she has that.
Is it impressive? I mean, that's one way to look at it, yes. Well,
I'm also a meat lover myself. I could go straight carnivore if I had to.
Yeah.
Like the exact opposite of a vegetarian or a vegan. Shout out to all you guys that can mentally not make yourself eat meat, because bacon is a force to be reckoned with.
It is.
But I find it impressive at 10 years old. She's already formed the idea that she's like, I'm not eating meat, and here's why.
Yeah, I mean,
So
yeah,
I get that that's annoying from a parent cooking for your children because you're like, I'm not cooking 3 different meals.
right. But she also doesn't like pizza. She doesn't like not even cheese pizza. She'll eat cheese bread, but she doesn't like the sauce on pizza. She doesn't like ketchup. Um, so it really limits us as far as what we can give her for for meals and stuff. My son, growing up 4 years or 3 years younger than her, has watched her have a disdain for all these foods. So he automatically just said, well, that's the way, I'm not supposed to like these things. And we're noticing that as we can convince him to actually try different foods, he's starting to like them. And we talked about that in one of the previous episodes when he figured out that he liked pepperoni pizza. And now, that totally changes the how much pizza is made available to Dad because he wants to chop down. And I go in there to get like 2 more slices of pizza, and I come sit down, and he is eyeballing my plate so hard, and he's like, "Did you leave any more in there, bro?"
Well, that's when he gets a little bit bigger, and then you're gonna have an issue on your hands, Rob.
Yeah. But he's it's so funny. Like he'll eat McDonald's chicken nuggets. He'll eat, which we don't go to very much, but Chick-fil-A. He'll tear those chicken nuggets up, but he won't in Zaxby's. But like if we have just like regular chicken here at the house, he's not interested.
No dino nuggies for him, huh?
No. Well, maybe.
So what's it like going through a drive-through like at Chick-fil-A with your daughter, who doesn't eat? Does she do chicken?
No, she's straight at Chick-fil-A or really any other kind of fast food place. She is fries and yogurt parfaits. That's it.
That's craziness.
Fruit cups.
Okay. Well,
and let me give a shout out to all you restaurants out there. Fix your fruit cup. I can't stand melons. If I'm gonna order a fruit cup, and you list all these different fruits that are in there, and you give me a strawberry and a grape, and then the rest is just honeydew and cantaloupe.
I was about to say a half a cantaloupe in there.
I mean, come on, fix it.
You don't like melons?
Oh no, dude. I can tolerate watermelon. Just because, and where I'm from, like we put salt on watermelon.
Yeah, little Tajin.
I haven't had
Mexican
that.
Spice.
That might fix it. That might fix it.
That's fiery. You need to try it.
But the watermelon. Here's the thing: my favorite candy is watermelon Jolly Ranchers. But like regular watermelon doesn't have the tartness that I would prefer.
Gotcha.
So, I've experimented, like putting either lemon juice or maybe orange or something like that would be good on it. But I need the tartness, and watermelon just doesn't have it for me. But any other kind of melon, honeydew, abomination. Cantaloupe, excrement. It's all bad. But that's also the cheapest, I think.
Hot take from Rob here today.
I'm sorry,
guys.
I apologize to all you melon lovers out there. That's just the way it is. Mobby. But yeah, so yeah, man, it was good. My wife makes some killer baked beans. How do you doctor up your baked beans when you make them?
Usually, yeah. I mean, I doctor up a lot of stuff whenever I make it because I just don't want it to be standard, right? But like I tell you who does a really good job. Bush Beans makes those grilling beans, and they have like 8 different types that you can get. They're not bad if you get the right one, but I'll still throw in maybe some bacon in there or some extra sauce that I like, throw it in my smoker and then and let it roll from there. But what about
we do barbecue sauce, mustard, and hot sauce.
Mustard.
Yeah. I didn't, when I saw somebody do it, and I can't stand watching people make food that I'm going to eat because if they do something weird to it,
Yeah, you're instantly like,
I'm
nah.
like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I saw this lady. She was making baked beans for everybody, and she pulled out the bottle of mustard, and she squirted a bunch of mustard in there and started mixing it up. I'm like, what in the, like, what is this? And I tasted it, and it was amazing. And I put mustard in my beans ever since.
Really?
Now,
Okay.
people don't like it because it has a tendency to change the color. It makes it a
Color.
lighter
Yeah.
brown. But that's why, like, the barbecue sauce helps with that, and the red
Yeah.
sauce and the hot sauce both kind of darken it up a little bit, and it's awesome.
I'll have to check that out next time I do baked beans. That's
Yeah, dude.
interesting. And I'll probably have to do a small portion
Yeah,
because I know we as humans are visual eaters.
right.
And just the color changing probably is going to gross out my better half
Yeah,
over here,
yeah.
you know?
Well,
Yeah. So
I've heard some things about her this episode already. She sounds like a very mean person.
she's the best. Baby, if you're listening to this episode number 5, I love you.
And he doesn't look like a frog standing up.
And I don't look like a frog standing up exactly. Kinda.
Hey, so yeah, 4th of July was awesome. Fireworks weren't that bad. They didn't go too late. Um, and thankfully my kids are at an age where it didn't bother them as much as it usually does. They usually freak out. Um, but as far as that was my high, I mean, as far as my low goes, um, just trying to stay confident. I find myself, my confidence goes up and down. And, all these things that we tell our listeners and followers on social media and stuff, it's crazy that it's hard to remember those things for myself, and
Yeah.
what about you? I don't want to get too far ahead because I had a lot
Yeah,
of
yeah.
thoughts yesterday during my walk, but
For sure. And we'll get into that in detail. So highs, obviously 4th of July is a good time. We went over to Buddy's house. We had food all together and everybody brought, their own dish and it ended up really good. And it was kind of fun because it was multicultural at the house. So there was some food that I wouldn't traditionally have eaten on 4th of July. But it was kind of nice to have that. We still had the standard barbecue stuff.
yeah.
Throw that out there.
What was the new stuff?
Man, there was some flan. There
Oh.
was some fried rice with some sausage in there. There was some even a dessert meal that was milk Jello with raspberries and blueberries.
Milk
I'm gonna
Jello?
be honest here. Guys. I didn't go for it. Just the white Jello kind of freaks me out. But I'm sure it was probably good. It was probably like your daughter's fruit parfait that she gets at restaurants.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. But
Milk
we had a good
Jello.
time. Shot off fireworks. Played a good bit of cornhole. Pretty standard 4th of July.
Yeah.
And I got 2 good workouts in on Sunday, and then yesterday also. With doing the walk. Lows. So after my ride I did 14 miles on Sunday, and after my ride I kind of tweaked my knee. And I didn't think much about that. I'll have tweaks here and there, and I talked about that in episode 1 where sometimes you just got to keep on pushing through and your body's just telling you to do something. But yesterday did the 10K, and last night it was bothering me some more, but I was still able to move around. Today I wake up and I am basically a pirate with a wooden leg. I'm having some troubles trying to get around, bending it. I noticed it was swollen last night, so I guess the negative is I'm gonna have to take a few days off, and I was feeling good about getting back into it, but I'm gonna have to take a few days off to let my body recover, and hopefully it's nothing serious.
What kind of pain are you talking about? Like, where is it on your knee?
Right under my kneecap.
Uh,
And a little bruised, a little swollen, but it's nothing crazy. It's not on the sides, not really underneath. And I was looking at a chart that basically says it's probably inflammation, right?
Yeah.
Runner's knee is something people get, so
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's probably something similar to that. And you talking about gout last episode, I've had bouts with gout also, and I haven't had it in quite some time. I say quite some time, probably 6 months.
Yeah.
But I've never had it past my toe. And usually when I get it in my toe, it's the worst thing ever. But this isn't quite like that. I mean, I can bend around and walk, and I don't think it's gout, but hopefully it's not.
Man, gout's the worst.
It sucks. Dude. It's the king's disease.
Yeah.
So that they say that because back when gout was only for those who could eat enough, because it typically coincides with bigger people, right?
Well, yeah, and they could only eat the food. They're the only ones that could afford the food that would cause gout.
To have enough calories to be heavy back then.
My English professor at the University of Mary Washington called me Gout Boy because I'd come in I used to use a putter as a cane whenever I'd had flare-ups. But she's like, well, you being an English major, the gout is a very literary disease. Like a lot of great authors in history suffered with gout. I'm like, okay, well, that doesn't make me feel any better.
Yeah, no,
but dude,
I don't
just
care
the
who
weight,
else has it.
Like just the weight, just the weight of the sheet. Oh, it just send you reeling in pain, dude.
I sleep on the left side of the bed. I hope if I ever have gout, it's on my left foot, because then I can kick that foot out under the sheets, right? If it's my right foot, so right there with you, man.
It's the worst. So yeah, you were telling me we got a shout out on Reddit or something?
Yeah, so yesterday I was doing a 10K. I did a special 10K, which we'll get into details about in a little while.
Well,
you want to go ahead and throw that out there?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Okay, so yesterday I'm thinking, what's something that's specific to 4th of July that a lot of people would know, right? That's catchy, and I'm going to do this 10K. You did the 10K with me. Shout out to Steve the Pirate, who's also a streamer on Reddit. Also did a 10K virtually with us.
Nice.
And I said, let's call it something
that's
fun.
That's the second pirate reference this episode.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, real quick.
I'll keep them coming.
Do you know what a pirate's favorite letter of the alphabet is?
Most people think it'd be the C, but it'd actually be my first love. Up. Most people think it'd be the R,
but it's really the C.
But it'd be my first love, the C.
Oh boy!
Don't throw that out of this episode. People are gonna get a crack up.
I'm gonna put some bleeps in there.
Yeah,
probably gonna throw some bleeps in there. But yeah, Pirate Steve. Is that his name? Pirate Steve?
Steve the Pirate.
Steve the Pirate.
Steve the Pirate also did a 10K. And I was thinking about something catchy, and I honed in for some reason. I was sitting there thinking about it. And we created the first annual Put It in Reverse, Terry 10K.
Oh,
for you guys that don't know that epic video,
it's viral gold.
Go search Put It in Reverse, Terry, and every single 4th of July, just watch it one time.
It's so good.
Yeah,
it's just like Pringles. You can't watch it once.
No, you'll watch it at least 3 times.
Yeah.
Pure comedy. So we did the Put It in Reverse, Terry 10K. I hit mine very early in the day. And then, we get comments. I see comments all the time, but this comment here is a person who is in the Discord. They're very involved on Instagram and over here on Reddit. And this is my man, Mysterious Gnome 842. I just call him Gnome.
No.
Said I mentioned the podcast, and he said, I've really been enjoying the podcast. It's Rob's story of All or Nothing that really resonates with me. And you know, it's cool that you got a shout out on my Reddit, because I don't talk about you, right? So that's just someone who's genuinely enjoying it. And he also added, he goes, we all need to hear that we make a difference, right? He goes, I know for me, sometimes I go out, eat once a month, and it can really derail me for like weeks, because I feel like I fail, and then I screw it. Kiko's out the window, right? So it's been helping me to be more mindful and realize that one day, and I like this quote, one day is one day.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So that was a huge shout out to you, man. From Mysterious Gnome.
Like that's pretty awesome. Thanks, Gnome, for those kind words, dude. Like, it just confirms like why we're doing what we're doing. That's what it's about.
And that's what I told him while I was on stream. I said, it's, you know, if we get 10 people to watch this, as long as they resonate with it and when they know they're not alone, this is why we're here.
Yeah. You need to get Gnome's. You need to get Gnome's address so we can send him a Loud Rooster podcast sticker.
I probably could make that happen. I'll reach out to him later on Discord. So yeah, the 10K, put in reverse Terry 10K. You know, I got up, I think I started walking at 9:30.
Oh, okay.
Which to me is way too early. 9:30, I was hitting the treadmill. And you know, that, like I said, the knee was kind of tweaked, but I powered through. It felt really good. I felt fine after probably 1 mile in. Nothing at all. Powered through and had a personal best on the 10K time. Had a lot of fun doing it, and honestly probably could have done more, but I didn't want to, because a lot of the times I know if I push myself on something like that, it might not go well. So tell me about yours. And I know you were tuned into our Instagram and our Facebook at the Loud Rooster podcast. I popped in a couple times to say what's up, but tell me how yours went.
Yeah,
because you're outdoors.
Yeah, it was good, dude. In our last episode, I talked about my new Brooks running shoes, and because they're new, they aren't really broken in yet. So I got some blisters on the backs of my heels. So I had to I had to think about all these things leading into it. So I had my heels all taped up. I had, my favorite pair of socks to wear. Everything was about comfort. I was stretching out my back. I was stretching out my legs. I didn't want anything to pop up as an excuse, man. So I was ready to go. That first mile felt really good. I was streaming on Facebook in that first one, and it was cool to get some shout outs from my family and stuff, and some friends just encouraging me, and so that was cool. And the weather was great. I mean, it was probably low 80s. I didn't get started until, I don't know, it was probably 11, something like that. And it all felt good. And then I went over on Instagram and was streaming there a little bit. But everything was great. And then, like mile 5, I started to really feel the heat. Like at that point, it was, it was like 12, something like that.
High noon.
Yeah, bro. So all the shade that I was enjoying earlier in the day was gone. And so it was long strips of walking in the sun. And I mentioned this in my and when I was streaming, at mile 5, my fingers started turning into sausages because I was a little dehydrated, and um,
How do you carry water with you when you're?
no, like because normally I'm only doing 2 miles, so um,
So were you doing a loop by your house, or how was
so
that working?
I have two routes that I have 2 2 mile routes that I've done. One takes me down into this really nice neighborhood, and then the other is the opposite direction. It walks all the way through my neighborhood and down to my kids' school and back. Um, so I got a bottle of ice water and put it by my mailbox because each loop ends at my
Your
driveway.
house. Yeah.
So that way, every 2 miles I could drink a bunch of water and then keep going.
Gotcha. Okay.
So if I hadn't been doing that, gosh, it probably would have been really bad. I never started feeling, dizzy or anything like that. But I was definitely dehydrated because I was sweating a lot.
How you
Um,
feeling today?
I feel
The
good.
aftermath
I
of
mean, my
it.
body's a
Okay,
little
good.
achy.
Yeah.
Body's a little achy. I will say, um, in I guess it was between mile 1 and 2, I was coming back towards my house, and there's a slight incline that lead on our road. And I was walking down it, and my right knee started to kind of twinge a little bit,
Mm.
and so that got me a little worried. But once it flattened out, that went away, and I didn't feel it again. So, but it was cool. I haven't the loop that takes me through the neighborhood not far from our house is one that I got started on during this whole walking process, and um, people got used to seeing me out there, and people were stopping me and just talking about
Like,
how
no, don't stop me this time.
no, not yesterday, but back when I was walking there all the time, they were talking about how it was how consistent I was and how committed I was, and these
Hmm.
are folks that looked like they were in much better shape than I am. Um, they were talking about how they needed to get out and start walking and stuff, and um, so walking through there yesterday, I hadn't been in there a while, so it was funny. People would drive by, and I'd see their face light up, and they'd point at me and wave, or they'd honk and
He's
stuff like
back.
that. So that was cool.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah. So I did. I started at my house, walked up to my kid's school, and back to the house. That's 2 miles. Then I went down to the neighborhood route and back to the house. That was 2 miles, and then I did the school route again. For a total of 6. I think it ended up doing like 6.2 or 6.3, something like that. But yeah, man, that last mile was um, about 5.25 miles. I was like, gosh, do I need to start thinking about should I keep going or should I stop? Like, I don't want to pass out.
Yeah.
Um,
Some
because
random
when you
person's
get
driveway.
yeah when you get dehydrated, your your capillaries start to close up, and it causes um, your blood pressure will go down.
Mhm.
Um, like, or no, it goes. I can't remember what it is. Something happens with your blood pressure, and it can cause you to pass out because you're struggling to, because you're dehydrated. You're struggling to pump blood throughout your body, and I was freaked out. So, but I just slowed down a little bit. Like, my heart rate was much higher than it should be. I mean, it wasn't crazy, but it was a lot higher than it normally is when I'm on my walk. Um,
The so the big question is, was that the first 10K you've done?
no, no. When I got my first pair of Brooks, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go out and just walk, and I just felt like keep going and going, and so that was my second 10K.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was my
Nice.
second. But it was
So
good overall. I just, I feel like if I had been a little more hydrated, it would have been an even better experience.
I get that, man. Hydration is king. If you don't hydrate, you dihydrate.
Oh, I've never heard that before, but that is true. That is true.
So our goal for next year with the Put It in Reverse Terry 10K.
The second annual,
infamous Put It in Reverse Terry 10K is to have a couple things happen. One, have more people from around the globe join us on the Put It in Reverse Terry 10K virtually. Yes. Right? So if you're doing it virtually, we want you to join us. And I think this is going to become, even if we're not doing this anymore, this is a thing. And then Rob and I were talking earlier, talking about potentially making this a real life in-person, find a place that would have us. I don't know if this would be next year, but in the future, have a physical location that we could do a 10K from.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't have to be, if it's one of those things where if you're around, come join us,
Yeah.
But yeah, we should
super non-official fun 10K.
Yeah, we should definitely have T-shirts. That would be awesome. But dude,
you think Terry would show up and only do it in reverse the whole way?
If he did, he would win, I bet.
Yeah, he has a little more power than we do.
And you could have like a little autograph signing afterwards. Man,
that'd be awesome.
This thing just keeps growing. That's what she said.
In our heads, at least.
But yeah, dude, on my walk, you have a lot of time to think when you're walking for 2 hours, and there are two things that kept invading my mind, and one was the people who were like me and like you that are just desperate to change their life. You know what I'm saying? Like it really is a life or death situation, but who haven't found the motivation to do it yet. And bro, my heart really breaks for them because I know that desperate feeling, and you feel like there's nothing that you can do, or you don't believe when people tell you that that you need to change. You don't believe that it can happen. So I talked a lot about that on the stream. And then I started thinking about one of the reasons why people don't get out and do something is because of what they're told. All these coaches on Instagram, some of them have pretty bad ways of trying to motivate people, and it's not for everybody. Now, some folks might get into the being yelled at and cussed at and insulted into inspiration. I don't know what you want to call it, but to me, it's ridiculous. But there's just one guy in particular. I'm not going to tell you his name because I don't want you to go give him any views. But he was like, he's fit, dude. Like, he's ripped, and he's obviously been working out and eating well for a while, and and so it's just his face on this video, and he's like, when's the last time you went to the gym? From the looks of it, it's been a long time. I'm like, is somebody watching that and literally going, dude, you're right. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for making me feel horrible about myself. Let me get up and do something about that. And he's like,
shame game.
You need to get into the gym. Right after now. And I'm just like, dude, there's just no, not only does that not inspire people, but if you're trying to inspire through insult and shame, you are doing the exact opposite.
But you know what that makes me, if I did not know what gyms were like, because many people who are out of shape and trying to get in shape don't know, right? Because they've never been. I'm going to go, I'm not going to the gym now because it's DBs like you that are going to be there. And I don't want to be a part of that because you're going to look down on me. You're going to insult me. Screw that. And that mentality right there is probably why a lot of people shy away from gyms. And that's why another large gym in the US that has purple in the color succeeds, because they
Exist.
don't
Yeah.
allow that. But then again, they also feed you pizza on a certain
Right.
day of the week. So it's kind of an interesting thing.
And but see, it's really cheap membership there, so maybe it's worth it just for the free meal every week. I bet you
You
come
might be
out
on
ahead.
to
I bet you
you
come
might
out
be on
ahead.
to something. What matters how much pizza they allow you
That's
to
true.
have.
That's true. Um, but yeah, so like this is another one of those things, and we just talked about gout. I was talking about gout on my when I was streaming during my walk. Like people who are obese and overweight like me, especially when I was 415 pounds. When I would wake up in the morning, my ankles and knees would hurt so bad that I could barely walk, dude. And
Mhm.
so outside of the mental barriers that stop someone from actually getting up and making a change in their life, there's also the physical barriers of, how do I deal with this pain? How do I like I don't even feel like getting up and walking, much less doing any kind of exercise.
It's a lot easier to say no when you
Yeah.
have that added to the equation.
It's a lot easier to say no when you're like, well, now I have to figure out how to tie my shoes. Like
Hmm. Yeah.
it's ridiculous. And I guarantee you that there's some of these folks that are the coaches like this, if they had to deal with some of the things that these like that heavy set people had to deal with, um, they wouldn't do it either. If
Well,
they
you know
woke up,
why? They've never been there, Rob.
right, right,
They've never been there. And if they you can watch a lot of these people who have gone from fat to fit to now instructors or whatever you want to call them. They have an entirely different approach.
mm,
I haven't seen one of them talk down upon other people
yeah,
because they've been there,
yeah,
right? And I think it's a strong indicator that if you're looking for someone to inspire you other than Rob and PK, find one that fits what you want. You don't have to go with whatever's popular. You don't have to go with whatever's sitting in front of you on your Instagram. You can find something that fits the mold that you are most inspired by
yeah.
and roll with that.
Just like Alex Solomon, who we talked about in the last episode, like his stuff is
Yeah.
great,
Yeah.
and I'm sure that Alex, I'm sure that he has the coaching for him is a passion, and it's probably also a business. It's probably how he makes money. But from what I've seen, he's really good at it. Our dude lost 135 pounds, um, and is willing to share a lot of the things that led to his success on his Instagram for free. So if you're looking for a coach, I would check him out. I don't know, what it costs or anything like that. Um, I just know from what he has shared, he's a good dude. um, and I know that there's somebody out there that's listening to us, and they're saying, "Well, you could talk about sore ankles and sore knees and how you can't bend over to tie your shoes and all that stuff, but you're the one that puts yourself in that situation to begin with." I know that. I know that.
Yeah. We're aware.
Does that do you think that makes it better or worse knowing that? Do you think that's like a revelation that's going to be, oh, you're right. I did this to myself. Oh, well, then never mind. No, it makes it worse. If that whole mental side of it, it all just caves in.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I don't think any of us want to be this way.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And I say that as a broad statement. I've watched some weird TV shows. There's probably people out there that
Yeah.
are into that, but the major majority fell on dependency of food for behavioral reasons, and I'm going to leave that broad on purpose. And they look back and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe I've gotten this way. And I've been there, and you've been there, and I've been there multiple times, and you have too.
Yeah.
We talked about this, right? So it's one of those things that, man, I remember telling my wife, if I ever get above 300 pounds, forget about it. And that was a very easy target to overjump.
Yeah.
Over time, right? So, yeah, you got to get past your head, guys. You got to get past your head. And as Mysterious Gnome 824 said, one day is just one day.
Yeah. He's a wise. I'm assuming, is it a guy or a girl? Not that it matters. I just don't want to.
It's a guy. Yeah, I asked him yesterday to make sure I used the proper pronouns. He goes, "This is the first time that this has ever been asked to me." I said, "Well, it's kind of weird because I can't see you or hear you, so I always assumed you're a woman, and I was wrong."
Yeah.
There you go.
You never know. I mean, gnomes could be guys or girls.
Yeah, it's a whole race in the D&D spectrum.
Yeah. Man, you know what's weird about D&D? This is a weird rabbit trail. I've always loved playing it whenever I've played it, but I haven't played it in probably 30 years. Probably 35
We should get a group
years.
together because I play weekly.
Gosh. A buddy of mine used to do LARPing.
Yeah, I'm not into that.
Like,
yeah, that's
but
too
he used
much.
to tell me, like, the idea of going off to camp for an entire weekend in character with this storyline, and there's hundreds of people, like, that's really interesting to me.
It sounds amazing, and I've had friends who have LARPed also, but it's like, I'm a nerd, but at what point in the nerdism do you go, that's enough? And I think dressing up and going somewhere for a weekend to act as a character might be my cutoff point.
Yeah,
that's a pretty high cutoff point, though, Rob.
Yeah. His group was called the Ale Bellies.
I like it.
He said, "Yeah, dude, we just show up, and you're drinking mead the whole time, and you're just running around, going on adventures and sword fighting, and
trying not to die."
Yeah. And there's a pub, and people, like, their job, like, their character is a barmaid, so they work at the pub the whole time. Or there's wizards, there's bad guys, there's king, there's a queen, and all this stuff. That'd be a blast. And I don't care if you think I am a nerd for saying that. Whoever's listening, laughing, I don't even care. Probably my cousin Nick thinks I'm an idiot for saying I'd be into it.
If you're listening and you LARP, go ahead and invite Rob to your session. He'll gladly come.
I'll tell you what. If you're into LARPing, you should invite the Loud Rooster podcast to do a podcast from your LARPing location, and PK and I both will show up.
I mean, that's also very possible. In period clothing, also.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll go all out, dude.
If it's medieval, will we only talk Old English the entire time?
I'm going to have to brush up on my Old English, but that sounds like the right thing to do. And I'm going to have to work on, I'm going to have to put together a pool noodle sword, or, all that stuff. You can't show up without weapons. You got to have that stuff.
Yeah. Don't, you got to stay strapped or you'll get clapped.
That's so true. That needs to be on a t-shirt. Stay strapped or get clapped. Maybe that should be on the 10K t-shirt for next year. Ooh, just as like a byline,
Put it in reverse, Terry. Stay strapped or get clapped. People have no clue what any of this is.
No.
Almost is the best part about it.
Yeah. I've already got visuals for the shirt and everything. It's going to be awesome.
It's Terry sitting there, just a silhouette of Terry with fireworks going off. For obvious reasons. Right?
Put it in reverse. If you haven't seen that video, you got to check it out. It's awesome. If you need a laugh, Go check it out. That's the one to watch.
Yes.
I have a goal for next week, for next
What's
week's
that?
podcast. I need to get my garage cleaned out so that I can get access to my gym. I have an awesome gym in my garage. I got one of those cages in there where I can, do squats and bench press and all that. I've got a weightlifting platform. I've got all these weights and dumbbells and barbells, and I've got a rowing machine. I've got all these things, dude, and I don't use it. So my goal is by the next podcast is to get that stuff cleaned out and actually start using it.
Boom. Guys, he put it into fruition.
Yeah.
So let's hold him accountable.
So, and once I get it cleaned out, I'll put pictures on Instagram so you can see what I have. Some of the stuff I've made, which is pretty cool. I'm into DIY stuff, so I don't have to spend the money.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I put up a picture of my son watching Empire Strikes Back on Instagram. Did you see that?
I did. I LOL'd
yeah.
Whenever I saw it because I figured that's what it was.
Yeah, he was scared to death.
Good stuff.
So, dude, you got anything else, man? We're almost out of time here.
No, yeah, I'm gonna try to recover from this knee and then keep on rocking, whatever that looks like. So we'll see how that pans out.
I'm taking today off. I'm not doing any walking after yesterday's 6 miles.
I think that's fair.
And then I'm gonna get back at it tomorrow, dude.
Good deal, man.
Tomorrow's Wednesday. Tomorrow's hump day, so
good deal.
Get out there and hump. I mean, don't just randomly hump people. That's uncalled for. I guess what I'm saying is find someone.
That's a great workout, though.
Find someone who wants to be humped by you and hump them on hump day. So tomorrow's hump day.
So there's two things getting deleted from.
I just don't want people to say, well, the podcast told me to go out and start humping people. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you're going to hump.
Yeah. Ask for permission. Signed consent, 3 forms of ID. Thank you.
Oh, geez. This needs to end now. My name is Rob. He's PK.
And we're the Loud Rooster Podcast. See you guys next time.
Love you.